I don't want to play cheat code, bro. Cheat codes are for bitches because they can't have the skills to get what they really need. I will never cheat. I'm a professional. I'ma keep it professional as fuck. You were like 9 or something when I was playing San Andreas, could barely get through it without the cheat codes, damn. I remember playing this game when I was really young too, and there was certain missions that were hard, but you know, in hindsight, when you go back and play those old missions right now, as an adult, they're kind of easy. Like now that you play a lot of games, right, and you go back and play games like these, it's not that hard, man. Nah, I don't play with that, like, yo, if the cops are chasing you, that's fun. You're gonna try to get out of that situation. Why would you want to like input that code not to play? You guys know that, right? A lot of kids nowadays, when it comes to like phone games or whatever, they like games that play itself. They don't like to play a game anymore. So whenever they encounter any difficulties in a game, they want to get out of it really fast. And I don't like that. I think that shit pussy, man. Back in the day, I was raised with gamers that felt that if you don't do things legit, you pussy, you know? Like, people would judge you based on like, how did you get that particular weapon? Did you get it the right way? How did you get that jet fighter? If you input a cheat code like everyone else, it's like, man, who cares, right? Because at the end of the day, if you want that jet fighter, or you want that gun, or you want that car, wouldn't it feel better if you work for it, right? You gotta play the game to get it, right? And that's the reason why we play video games. But nowadays, kids want to play the game without having to work for something. They just want to put a cheat code and like, they get it. It doesn't feel that great. Like, I mean, I've done that shit before, right? I put a cheat code, I instantly got like a really badass car, and I'm like, you know, I drove the car around for a bit, and I'm like, yo, that's pretty hype. But I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel like a connection with my car, right? And like, I did that. I replayed the game and I went and got the car legit. I bought the car with my money. I kept it in my garage, and it felt so good to drive that car. So there's a difference. So that's why I don't fuck with cheat codes. Cheat codes for SP games are fine. I don't know what SP games are. Well, what is SP game? Oh, single player games. I don't know, man. Right? I like working for my shit, if that makes sense. Even if you think about like something like getting a girl, you gotta be charming, you gotta take her out on a date, you gotta like know how to like keep her interested, right? Or you could get a hooker. You essentially like achieve whatever you want to achieve way quicker, but it's gonna be less fulfilling. You know, you're not gonna feel anything, and you want another hit. So yeah, like cheat codes are like, it's just like getting a hooker. It's not like working for whatever you really want, you know, going the hard way, trying to learn something about yourself. Yo, I guarantee you, people who play cheat codes in video games, their video gaming skills are really trash. Like, you could see that shit. You can see people who have like really shitty like skills. Like when they drive cars, they are not as focused. They are not as like good with like the game. That's because they cheat in every other game they play. That's what I'm saying, right? You gotta think about like the person who would use a cheat code. Like, when a person uses a cheat code to get something in a game, what kind of person are they? They are the kind of person that wants the reward without the work. That means they are the type of people that are very quick for fast gratification. They're not the type of person that would have long-term gratification. And if you want anything in life to be successful, you gotta have long-term gratification skills. You gotta be okay with not having the reward right now. You gotta be okay with sitting through the struggle. But when you get the reward, it's gonna be real. It's always like, it's sometimes not about the reward, it's what you attain along the way to the reward, right? So for example, right, like think about like someone like Bill Gates, for example, right? Bill Gates is fucking rich, but what if you took away all of Bill Gates' money right now? You took away every single cent. Would he know how to make money tomorrow and maybe within a year become rich again? He would. So why would he be able to do that? That's because he has attained all the skills and knowledge about being rich. So even if you took away all his money, he knows how to get there again. So all of a sudden, it wasn't about the money. It was about what are the skills that you need to learn to get there. So the same is about a game, right? You could get whatever you want from the game like right now, but you don't develop the skills that will help you excel in the game or whatever else in life. And you're kind of training yourself to expect the reward faster. than to learn about what are you gonna get from, you know, the start all the way to the reward. That is way better than the reward itself. Whereas the thing about gaming is it's supposed to be fun for everyone as long as they aren't bothering anyone. Yeah, I guess so. That's what I'm saying. Like, what is fun for someone who has long-term gratification or short-term gratification? There's a difference. Your cousin and you were grinding on GTA Online for a while and he was constantly trying to find a modder to give him all the money and everything. It's not the player who has the problem, it's the game. It's GTA Online is rigged. GTA Online is not the same as playing GTA San Andreas. In GTA San Andreas, as long as you put in the time, you put in the work, you can get whatever you want in the game and it feels very satisfying and you get very skillful in it. Like, when I got very skillful in this game, I remember being able to fly almost every vehicle perfectly. And it wasn't because I used cheat codes, it was because I really took the time to learn the game. I really took the time to participate in the races. Like, I never used any cheats to win any race in this game. And because of that, I became very good at driving. Right? But when you play a game like GTA Online where the rewards are impossible to get unless you pay money or unless if you like hack the game or mod it, that means it's not a worthwhile game to play. If a game requires more than your skill and a reasonable amount of time to get what you want, don't play it. Like, if you need to like put in like thousands and thousands of hours to get something so simple in GTA Online, it means that you're not smart. The only reason why you're playing GTA Online is because you can play it with your friends and you can like do something with them, right? And GTA Online essentially is free until it's not. Until you want to get something better. You want to get like a better car, better house, then you gotta go get yourself a shark card. So GTA Online is not a good comparison. In fact, anyone who plays GTA Online is not a very smart person. You gotta understand, you're only playing it to like hang out with your buddies. But if you're really playing GTA Online to excel in it, to like flex whatever you have in the game, just know that everyone who has anything in that game of decent value didn't work to get there, because it's impossible to work to get there. You can play that game every single day for 10 hours and still not be able to get that car you want. That's how you know the game is rigged. Creator says if I do it, give a damn about a game, or if I just want to kill time, I use a cheat code on occasion. Like GTA 3, I beat the game then wanted to kill time, so use cheats. Yeah, I guess so. I guess in that sense, when you already beat a game and you just want to see what it feels like to drive like a certain thing, right? I guess you can use a cheat code, but I'm talking about people who exclusively just use cheat codes. That means when they play a game and they get into any problems, they want to get out of jail free card just by using a cheat code. And it's so boring. Like, those people are fucking like how are you playing a game when you don't want those challenges? Those games are built in such a way that effort is not enough. Skill is not enough. I really do miss the days when multiplayer games were all about the skill. Back in the day when you played Halo 3, when you saw someone with the Hayabusa armor, it meant something, because you can't get that armor unless you beat the game on Legendary and you do a certain amount of things. You can't get it. That means whoever rocks that armor did it with pure skill. So armors and stuff in games in multiplayer back then actually meant something. But now it doesn't mean anything. Now, like, all the armors you see people have in games are armors that they buy, and you can buy it. And you would like want to buy it because you don't want to feel left out. And I don't fall for that because I'm an OG gamer. I play games like so many times when I was a kid. And I kind of know the difference. When I see games nowadays and it's all about like microtransactions. Reverses? I mean, not exactly. I play it with friends, but doing highs, grinding the business is really fun for me. I mean, grinding is fun, right? But when does it not become fun? It becomes not fun when you see someone who doesn't grind get the thing that you want because they paid money for it. Think about it, right? What is not fun about GTA Online is like you see other people with cool shit and you know they didn't get it by working hard. You know they got it by either hacking, by modding, or by actually paying out through their asses to get that thing. So all of a sudden, since that is like the premise they set, it's no longer fun to play the game, and you don't have the motivation to grind anymore. The thing with what makes grinding fun is when the game cares so much about itself that they put preventive measures to prevent people from cheating. Like when you play a old school game like World of Warcraft, why was it so fun to grind on it? That's because Blizzard took the time to like put anti-cheat software in that shit. You can't cheat that game, and even if you do, you get banned really fast. So all of a sudden, the playing field is equal. Everyone starts out the same, so when you see someone with like cool shit, you know for a fact that whatever he has is attainable as long as you put in the work. But now you flip that and think about GTA Online. When you see someone with cool shit, you know for a fact they didn't put in work for that, because it's impossible to put in like work for that thing. That's why I say people who play GTA Online are not very experienced in games, and they don't really know what it really feels like to really earn something in a game, because they never grew up with games that actually teaches them that. I remember there were like a lot of multiplayer games where grinding actually was encouraged, because they wanted you to stay in the game longer, and they kept their rewards very reasonable. So every time you hit like a milestone, you get something, right? Now if you play Grand Theft Auto Online, there's no such thing. The leap from getting like something cool is so high up. Like by the time you get up there, you only can afford like one small thing. You can maybe just buy a motorcycle or maybe a car. You're still so far away from the other kids who have penthouses, who have garages. And you know, they didn't get there by grinding. They didn't get there fair. They got there by cheat codes. They got there by hacking, modding, paying real actual money for it. And you feel like you can't catch up with them unless you use the same methods that they use. And the problem with GTA Online is the netcode is so bad for that game that whatever happens in that game is all pure luck. It's not a matter of skill anymore. If you play GTA Online and you kill someone, or if someone kills you, it's not because you did a skillful kill. It's because the internet was like somehow on your side, right? That's why you get a lot of people who are lagging or who are lag switches, because it helps them kill other people faster. So check this out. If the skills are not real in that game, the rewards are not real, why are you playing that game? The only reason you have left to play that game is so that you can hang out with your friends, or so that you can hang out with other people or make new friends. That's it. The game is actually a broken mess. Revo says there's definitely a lot of people that play GTA Online the right way and have everything. I mean, I don't doubt that there's people who have like a lot of cool shit and they play it the right way, but how soon can you get there? How many years do you have to play that game in order to get where they are? And along the way, will you be tempted by people who, you know, didn't get it, didn't get the cool stuff the right way? You know, the problem with GTA Online in games like these, like online games in general, is like you're constantly comparing yourself with other people. And I get that. It's a very like human instinct to compare like what you have with what someone else have, because it helps you survive, right? If someone has something that you don't, your monkey brain is going to help you get whatever he has, because your monkey brain thinks that it'll help you survive, or you'll have a better standing in the world. So whenever you see someone in the GTA Online have a cool car, or they got like cool shit, you instinctually want that shit too, right? The only problem is the game not letting you get there. Even if you put in like decent work, even if you put in decent time, you're not gonna get there fast. And you're every day you play that game, you're gonna get bombarded by the same people that bought shark cards, that mod the game, and you're gonna see their shit and you're gonna be like, fuck, like how much am I gonna put up with this game in order to get where I want to go? So when the game is not fair, there's no point in playing it. The only reason why you play it is because you think you can get there. It's kind of like when people go into a casino and they think they can beat the bank. They think they can beat the dealer. You can't. You never ever will be able to beat the dealer. The house always wins. Same with GTA Online. You will never ever beat the house. The house always wins. Some way or another, they will get your money. Whether you're willing to admit it or not, if you played that game for long enough, you probably already spent some money in that game. Or you probably did something even worse. You probably modded, or you hacked, whatever, right? Or you probably got your stuff from someone who did those things. Remember, it's just the fact that I see other people have everything doesn't make me want to take some cheap route. It's not about having everything for me, it's more about working from the ground up. That's the reason I like playing it. But that means you haven't played it long enough, because that is a very idealistic and optimistic view of the game if you don't know how long it takes to get something. Like, I wanted to like GTA Online. I played GTA Online, but I studied that game a little more. And I read up a lot of articles showing that getting stuff like that is almost impossible. Because the game was built in such a way that, you know, you only can get what you want if you spend money or you hack the game, right? You can get somewhere if you work really hard, if you put in the time. But the game itself is so broken. Like, think about how long it takes for you to get into a matchmaking room, right? How long does it take you to get into a game? in GTA Online. The reason you're okay with it is because you have no other experience playing other games. Or even if you did, you got so desensitized to how bad GTA Online is, it becomes normal. So when someone is like willing to accept so much shit from a game for so long, it means that they are stuck with the game. They haven't been playing a lot of other games. That's why when someone always tells me that they play the same game, like, yo, I always play GTA or Red Dead, and I'm like, yeah, that's not the move, chief. You gotta like do something else. You gotta like try other shit. Even going back and playing an older game is like way more satisfying than, you know, playing a game that is gimped to get your money. So that's what I think. And you know, like obviously if you have a different opinion, you know, I respect that. You know, you can do whatever you want to do, but you know I'm right. You know, I have you guys' best interest in my mind. Like I don't want the worst for you guys. I want you guys to always have the best. I want you guys to be happy. But honestly, I don't think this is how you get happy, man. And also the thing is, like, when you play online games, it's hard to tell like how someone got something, right? When you ask someone in the game, like, hey man, how did you get that car? How did you get that like cool gun? Do you think they're gonna tell you actually like how they really got it? Or are they gonna tell you like, hey man, I worked really hard for this. Like, dude, I really bust my ass to get this fucking cool ass skin, right? What makes them look better? So you can't trust people when they tell you like they work legit to get something. Because I played multiplayer online games before and I've lied to people about getting my shit, right? Like there was this one time when I was playing like a game like Ragnarok and I stole this weapon from one of my guild members, and then some dude asked me like, hey man, how did you get that weapon so fast in your level? And I'm like, and I was like, yo man, I work for this shit, man. Quit hating. This shit is mines. No? And that was a straight lie. And why did that happen? Well, number one, the reason that happened was because I was really young. You know. And the reason why is also like people play the game, you know, to show off. They want to like people to see them like driving the most expensive shit, you know, like using the most expensive shit and looking super fly. It's like a second life, right? Like the stuff that you can be in a game like GTA Online is gonna be way cooler than whatever you can be in like real life. That's why people play it. The problem with the game is rigged. Honestly, spending that amount of time in GTA Online is kind of like, you know, I know this would suck for you hearing this from me, but it's kind of a waste of time, isn't it? Because whatever you get in the game is eventually not going to be there anymore. Eventually, they're going to shut down the servers. When Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, like, people will be moving on to the latest and greatest new game. People wouldn't be, like, sticking around with that game. References eventually isn't every game a waste of time in that way then?
No, Emmett.
Not really. Not really.
Sorry about
Because imagine if you play any other like game right out there, right?
We want to get the people who did it.
And you worked really hard for all your things.
You come to the right place.
What happens when you reload that game?
You like,
all your stuff is still there.
Man, look at this old shit.
All your stuff is still there. Like you can work really hard in like GTA 5 single player. You have everything, right? You have all the cars, you have all the garages, you have all the cool shit.
Oh, Beverly, be so proud.
And you save the game. You come back many years later, you can enjoy all your stuff. It's always going to be there. But when you like rely on a game like GTA Online to keep your stuff for you, where there's like stuff like hacking, people can steal your shit. Like, didn't you guys know that? Like in GTA Online, like back then, there were hackers that can steal your stuff. Like mysteriously one day you'll find like a car missing from your garage. And Rockstar isn't gonna do anything for you. You're gonna put your faith in something like that to have fun. So say you like a game where you can like grind and like work hard and get shit, right? GTA Online is not it. Play regular games. Play like Red Dead Redemption 2 single player or Grand Theft Auto 5 single player. The only reason you're playing it online is so that you can play with other people and you can show off your shit. That's it. Rever says, I don't know, in single player games I feel that it's fun getting all the gear and everything, of course, but then like coming back to it once everything is done just feels like you just finished it, you know, nothing else left. Just move on to the next game. Yo, that's a clue. That's a clue you don't want to miss out. So what was fun about the game was never about the reward. It was about the journey. Getting there, right? So starting the game over is probably more fun than continuing the game when you beat it, right? But when you play a game like GTA Online, what is the point of the journey when the rewards are trash? The game is so bad, like online. It's like everyone is lagging, hacking, doing crazy shit. Sometimes it's like a 2v5. You experience that shit, right? Like, why are you doing that to yourself? That's why, like, single player games are always going to be better than multiplayer. The only reason why people play multiplayer games for cosmetics is because they want that cosmetic to matter when someone else sees them with it. But if you don't have anybody like seeing you, would you still get whatever you want to get? That's the main question.